The final preseason game is Saturday afternoon in Nashville, and it does look like we will see the majority, if not the entirety, of the NHL lineup, which will give us a good idea of how it's going to look. Tripp Tracy will be there, and the Hurricanes' top-notch game analyst joins us on the Adam Gold Show. Tripp, how are you this fine Wednesday afternoon? I almost said morning because it feels like morning to me, but how are you this afternoon?
Hey, G, as long as my signal's coming through nicely, things are perfect because I'm hovering with my dog, the great Frank, here at Shelley Lake.
Nice.
I wanted to make sure when we hot stove, not that Frank cares, but I found an area with signal, so it varies. So it's a good off day. I believe that the team, now that the roster's been reduced, is doing a team building activity today, and then a couple of practices before that aforementioned Nashville game on Saturday.
All right, first of all, you can't tell me that Frank doesn't care. I saw a video of him listening to the show, so I know Frank is
your show
for a big time. So I appreciate Frank. Before we get into the team, I just found this interesting. Sportico, which is a website that deals with business of sports, business and law as it connects to sports, has the Hurricanes valued at just under $2 billion and a 212% increase in the last 3 years, which is just amazing. But I find fascinating that they're ahead of franchises in terms of valuation, like Minnesota, the Calgary, Anaheim, Colorado, Nashville, like St. Louis, San Jose, some established franchises, and granted San Jose isn't established that much more than Carolina, but St. Louis has been around since they expanded from 6. It is just remarkable to me where the Hurricanes are as a franchise, just in the last now year 8 of the Tom Dundon era.
Awesome. I mean, reasons for it, because I struggled my freshman year at Harvard in the one core economics class taught by Reagan's economic advisor at the time. I struggled to get a C-, making mistakes on basic economic theories. But, so prefacing it with that, winning.
Sure.
Making the playoffs each and every year since Rod became the coach, and Tom's full year owning the team. Growth of the area with projections of a ton more exciting growth. The Stadium Series outdoor game certainly pops to me as a wonderful moment in time. The commitment and conviction, even though it'll take some time, of the renovations to the building and the surrounding areas, for my layman's mindset, those would be the things that I think about, starting with winning, that has seen such a fabulous increase in the valuation of the team.
Tripp Tracy is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, let's get to the roster. I know the team sent down Bradly Nadeau, and depending on what type of fan you are, and this is not a criticism, some fans are out of their mind angry about this. But your thoughts on where Nadeau is as a prospect and as a candidate to make an impact on this team?
Here's what I would say that would hopefully satisfy the fan that would have loved to have seen him make the roster, and I certainly would have had no problem with that. And I think it's awesome that a prospect has made his argument, has earned it to this point, to even bring that type of reaction. What I would say is when Jackson Blake made the team last year, it wasn't going to happen if you didn't earn it, but you were looking for he or either Bradly Nadeau a year ago to make the team. When Jarvis made the team, had it not been for an injury a few games into Nino Niederreiter, he probably would have ended up back in junior. He needed that opportunity,
Yep.
And then he did everything with it. Now you're deeper than ever. Had you known that Nadeau was going to take the steps that he did, you did extend some guys, but, guys that, I expect to be impactful parts of the lineup. And I think everybody across the roster, even though the NHL regulars don't play a ton of preseason games, they take notice. And I think it's a tremendous kind of pressure. And I think my biggest takeaway that I hope would satisfy the fans about where Bradly Nadeau is at right now. Number one, you've got a gap here after the game in Florida that it gives him a chance, feeling great about himself, probably not even needing a flight to Chicago, but could float up there with the type of confidence that he must have. And I'm guessing an extremely positive exit meeting with Rod and Eric Tolsky and management. What I think about right now, partner, is that, the Hurricanes, for the most part, have been fortunate, and I hope they continue to be, with regards to the health of their go-to.
Right.
Let's just talk wingers in particular. So and hopefully that continues. But for whatever reason, if either there's a significant injury to one of your top guys up front and specifically on the wing, or a guy has a prolonged period of struggling, or your power play does, instead of, if you're in one of those situations, which, again, I hope they won't be the Hurricanes, instead of having to look externally to plug a hole, look at how Bradly played in his games with NHL regulars. Andrei Svechnikov, the chemistry that he had in the one game in particular, when he played with Stankoven and Blake, for me, you wouldn't even have to think about going externally. The first crack would be recalling Bradly Nadeau and feeling good about it.
Yeah.
So, that's something that I've been thinking about all morning, knowing that we were going to hot stove. But if he continues to, after a 30-goal campaign in the American League, goes down, uses a tremendous training camp and preseason to continue to get even better, the runway's not far away from getting to the point. I'm just an announcer that you make a move, or if you stay healthy, to start to make room for Bradly Nadeau. He's expedited that process.
I agree. I don't think he'll be down there very long as he goes there and does what he's supposed to do, right? He'll play a lot of minutes. He'll play against the other team's best players, which, while he didn't necessarily play against NHL players here, and he won't be playing against NHL players there, but it's against more grown men in games with consequence. Preseason games don't have consequence, and he'll be playing against guys who are also trying to make a point. So I think there is a great opportunity for him to prove there that he belongs here, and I'm looking forward to that, and I don't think he'll be down there all that long for some reason, especially if he gets off to a good start, because I think the most impressive goal that he scored was the last one, the one that didn't count. Just for how quickly he got the puck from forehand to backhand and elevated. I don't know if I texted you this or not. How many players on Carolina's roster today can score that goal?
You did text me that, and you were right. With the type of hands, not losing any of his speed, he'll learn to have that trail leg, straddle the blue line.
Yeah, he tried. He was just in too quickly.
He'll learn that.
Yeah,
he'll learn that. But the one other, and you don't have the benefit of it with the way teams approach preseason in this day and age. The next step will be, AG, being able to see him specifically against NHL caliber defensemen and NHL caliber goaltenders. Because one thing we saw in the preseason is we saw a big drop off when you had the tune-up phases of NHL caliber goaltenders, most recently Bobrovsky, and the one group of NHL defensemen to a degree that he saw was the game in Tampa. So that will be, aside from continuing to produce and enjoy this tremendous growth curve in Chicago, that will be the next sample size, whenever it may be, seeing him against true NHL players, and specifically opposing defensemen and goaltenders.
Tripp Tracy is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Charles Alexis Legault is still here. I mean, I think it's because that the Hurricanes are unsure about whether or not Slavin, Chatfield, or Miller are going to be available for Saturday. On top of that, Legault is a right shot, and you got to practice, so you need to have enough defensemen to practice as well. So he's here for that reason. I thought his training camp was certainly good. I didn't think he was, jumping off the page. Have to keep him good, but that's okay. They know about him. They know because he had a very good year in Chicago anyway, so they know what he's about. What do you think is the next step for him to take to be ready to play?
First of all, I agree with your commentary capturing his preseason. And any NHL coach, especially when you have significant practice time as you do between now and New Jersey next Thursday, any coach would like to have 4 sets of defensemen instead of 7 defensemen. You got to play a forward during your reps for defensemen when you're trying to achieve a ramp up in pace in practice. So that helps him. I also agree with you from the precautionary standpoint that I hope doesn't come to be with the 3 defensemen that haven't participated in games. So it makes sense for him to stick around. And in a different way, I think it will only help his elevated confidence to be able to even get to this point in what eventually he'll do and go down and hopefully take even more significant steps at the American Hockey League level. I thought, I'd love to get your reaction to this. The double minor, I know Carolina lost early in overtime on Monday in Florida, but I thought that double minor, when it's the regular season and you've got to ensure a point just to get to overtime, I thought the way he took charge during that 4-minute Florida power play, he was playing with Nikishin.
Yeah.
I thought he was really the guy, even more than Nikishin. Nikishin had a mixed bag of moments, but I thought that was Legault's best segment of the preseason. And I think about it, even though it is the preseason, like a situation where you've got to get to overtime, with a significant challenge like that. And I thought that was his best stretch there to get through that double minor and what in regular season scenario.
Agreed on all of those points, and it brings me to, I think, one of his best skills is I think he's a really, really good skater. And if you're a good skater, you should be able, and he's a defensive first defenseman. If you're a good skater, you should ultimately be a good penalty killer. And those are the things you can't teach. And I think he's got those 2 things. It's got oodles of those 2 things. And I agree. I think he was excellent in that particular period. I also think that Nikishin also showed some of his best stuff on the penalty kill when needed, except not gapping up that one time, which created a chance. But I thought for the most part he was really good on the PK.
Thought he took steps that, and when he gapped, he was indecisive.
Yeah.
Should I stay or should I go? And you always want to go as a defenseman because the moment you sit back with NHL speed, let alone, speed, you're going to get caught. And, that was his one tough moment. Nikishin Legault had almost just because of that skating ability scored a shorthanded goal in the same spot that he had scored against Nashville in the third period the night before. So what I liked about Nikishin's game on Monday in Florida in comparison to his game in Tampa is any mistakes, aside from the one where he got hesitant that we just spoke about, any of his mistakes were effort-based mistakes, urgency-based mistakes. And before the game, that was, what we hot-stoved about.
Right.
If you're going to make mistakes, you want to see it be, with effort, with charisma. And I thought that he took big steps in his game from that standpoint, even with a lot of teachable moments on Monday night.
Tripp Tracy, I'll talk to you Saturday. It's going to be basically an NHL game. I would imagine Nashville is going to play most of their NHL guys. It won't count, but it'll look representative of NHL hockey at 4:00 on Saturday afternoon. Looking forward to it.
AG, can't wait. Agree. And Frank, thanks you. And we're going to get back to trotting. And I love you. Hope you have a great afternoon. And Thank you for digging in, and that Adam Gold abode spider that really got my attention when we were coming back from Florida. I mean, insects and reptiles. I try to have a love for all animals, but I'm not sure I'm spooning with that spider anytime soon.
I was told it was a wolf spider that was not poisonous, so everybody is good.
Fabulous. Thankfully, it wasn't hungry like the wolf, my dear friend AG.
Oh, man. You're the best. All right, Tripp. I'll see you later.